Okay, 5-minute bike carb conversion guide. Start the clock. So what is a bike carb conversion? Well, it's taking a set of carburetors from a sports bike and slapping them onto a car engine. Why? Because of fun, of course. You're gonna get amazing throttle response, an incredible soundtrack, and if you do it right, you might even gain a few horses and some torques. So what do you need to make it happen? Obviously, you need a set of bike carbs. You can get those from any of these or similar 4-cylinder sports bikes. As a general rule of thumb, you should get bigger carbs if you have a bigger car engine, and also as a general rule of thumb, if you're going to be racing, get bigger carbs. If you're going to be driving on the street, get smaller carbs. Now, to install the bike carbs onto your engine, you're going to need to remove your stock intake manifold and get a custom intake manifold for your chosen bike carbs. If you're an experienced welder/fabricator, you can try and make one of these yourself. If you're not, honestly, don't even bother. Just get a ready-made one from somewhere like Dan ST Engineering, where I got mine. Link is in the description. So once we have our bike carbs and our intake manifold, we're going to need a way to deliver fuel to the bike carbs. If you're doing this sort of conversion on a car engine that was previously fuel injected, then your electronic fuel pump is going to be generating far too much fuel pressure for the bike carbs. Your option number one is to reduce this pressure by using a high quality fuel pressure regulator. Your option number two is to completely shut off the stock fuel injection pump and get a pump from one of the sport bikes we mentioned earlier. Installing the bike fuel pump is super simple. You just need a fuel in and a fuel out hose, and you're going to need to provide a power and a ground wire to that fuel pump. The benefits of using a bike fuel pump is that they're inexpensive, easily replaceable, readily available, and they are going to ensure that your bike carbs get the absolutely correct fuel pressure at all times. If you're doing the bike carb conversion on a car engine that came with carburetors from the factory, then likely your fuel pressure is going to be okay and you do not need to touch anything. So we have our bike carbs, we have our intake manifold, and we have our fuel. The last piece in the puzzle is spark, and not just spark, but ignition timing advance. Now, if you're doing the bike carb conversion on a fuel-injected engine that uses a MAP sensor for load reference, then all you need to do is get vacuum hoses from your bike carb intake manifold runners to a vacuum balancing bar, and from there to your MAP sensor. And that's it. You're going to retain your correct factory ignition timing advance. However, if your engine uses one of these, which is an airflow meter, then you are going to need to convert to a MAP sensor setup or get a standalone ignition ECU. A standalone ignition ECU is an added cost, but it's also an added benefit of giving you full control over your ignition, which is going to enable you to squeeze the most responsiveness and the most power out of your bike carb setup. Now, to run a standalone ignition ECU, you are going to need a throttle position sensor and a crankshaft position sensor. Many bike carbs come with throttle position sensors on them from the factory, so that problem is pretty much solved. You just gotta get the right bike carbs. But if your engine, your car engine, doesn't have a crankshaft position sensor from the factory as stock, then you're going to need a appropriate crankshaft pulley with a trigger wheel and a crankshaft position sensor, as well as a bracket or something to hold the crankshaft position sensor. Once you have all that, you can hook up your standalone ignition ECU. Now, if you're doing the conversion on an engine that was carbureted from the factory and it has a vacuum advanced distributor, then you are set. You just need a vacuum line from your intake manifold to your vacuum advanced distributor, and you're pretty much done. You have your correct ignition timing advance. And there you have it, a basic guide on how to do a bicarb conversion on a car engine. In the description, you can also find comprehensive parts lists as well as links to parts that you might need if you decide to do a bicarb conversion yourself.